Alright, let's watch it. What is this? Change your profile picture to Clippy. I'm serious. This sounds like a schizo post. I remember Clippy. This little guy.
I was listening to the Facebook whistleblower hearings with Senator Josh Hawley a few months back. One of the elements that stuck out to me was when they were talking about how if an underage girl has deleted a selfie, Meta keeps track of this because they know that this person likely has low self-esteem.
Yeah, it's kind of way people who are fat get advertised a lot of McDonald's because they know they're fat.
At that moment that they deleted a picture of themselves, which means that they may be more apt to purchase something from an advertiser of a cosmetic product. And I think about this within the context of what companies used to get in trouble for and what they do, or more importantly, don't get in trouble for today. I grew up in the 90s, a time when Microsoft had hell and fury fall down upon them because they bundled a web browser with their operating system. Whether you think this is a good idea or not, I personally think that a web browser being installed in every single person's computer that's standards non-compliant, that is so bad that you can literally get a virus from visiting a website, has its problems. But when you look at what it is that companies got in trouble for in the 90s, it just doesn't hit the same when you look at what companies get away with now. I remember having a...
They get away with it, and not only that, if they get sentenced, they get a slap on the wrist, which is like a $20 million fine, which doesn't even make a dent into their profits. Oh, I got a $20 million fine? Oh, I make like $2 billion. Who gives a shit?
Dimension 233 back in the day, and if you wanted to get the one that had slightly better graphics, they would give you a free installation of Microsoft Office. And with Microsoft Office back in the day, it came with Clippy. Whether or not you like Clippy and whether or not you liked Microsoft Office or having an operating system that had the browser built into it that could easily get you a virus when you visited other websites that were trying to invade your privacy, the one thing that you could say, unlike Facebook, who is trying to profit off of young girls that feel suicidal, Clippy simply wanted to help. He might have been annoying, but he just wanted to help. There were no ulterior motives. If you told Clippy that you were having a bad day, he wasn't going to use that information to try and figure out which advertiser to sell you to, nor was he trying to steal your personal data or get you to purchase other Microsoft products. He had no ulterior motives. He was simply there to help. Unlike many modern pieces of software, like what you get from Adobe or Intuit, where you can't buy QuickBooks anymore. You can't buy a video editor anymore. You have to pay a subscription fee for it. If I were to boot up that...
Oh, and they do entrapment too. Oh, you want to quit? You have to pay us money to quit.
Computer that has not been used for 28 years, and I wanted to start up Microsoft Word, I could do so without connecting to the internet. And Clippy would still be there, happy and as enthusiastic as ever, simply wanting to help. Adobe is another example of this. This is a company that tried to twist people's arms into having AI and machine learning stuff go through their personal data. Not public data, not the speeches that I give, not my website or my blog posts or my videos, but my private data, the stuff that I'm editing. And there were people that were not able to get into their account until they agreed to this new end user license agreement. When they
literally stole people's art so that they could feed it into their AI so that they could create AI that they could profit off of. Yeah, awesome. Great.
Are looking for access to your data, they're doing so because they want to train an AI on how to do what you do without paying you, without your consent. Clippy simply wanted to help. When Clippy would ask you if you wanted help with writing your letter, Clippy wouldn't even read the contents of your letter. He just wanted to offer suggestions. Game of Thrones had, spoiler alert, there's this Sons of the Heartbeat in season 5. They were these people that wore masks and they pushed back against the new regime. And the purpose of the mask was to let the leaders know that when you see people with this mask, we are against you and your new regime, and we are going to push back against it as often as we can. And the worry with the Sons of the Heartbeat mask is that it starts with one person putting the mask on. And then somebody else gains the balls to put the mask on. And then 20 or 40 or 100 of them put the mask on. And once 100 or 1,000 of them put the mask on, there's nothing that the leaders can do at that point. Enough people have put it on, and enough people have come together with solidarity. And they're going to do something about it. Now, granted, this may not be the best analogy, because it was spoiler alert, they were trying to bring back slavery, and they also were just bad people. Khaleesi kind of became a shitbag at that point. But besides, I think that Clippy is like a modern-day Sons of the Heartbeat mask. If you're tired of companies changing the terms of the sale after the sale and getting away with it, turn your profile photo to a Clippy.
You also have to do something about buying their products. I know that it's kind of a difficult position to be in as well as a customer, because pretty much Windows dominates the entire market as owning it, and people who don't use Windows only use like Apple and Linux, and then whatever else is out there. Like, what do you really do realistically? Like, yeah, sure, you can change your profile picture and stand against them and show that you're pissed, but if you just keep if you keep using their products and purchasing their products, then you're kind of out of luck.
You're tired of companies that have the ability to reach into your house and ransomware your products so that they stop working unless you pay them again. Claim
Future Home, what? Future Home CEO threatens police action after I offer 5,000 bounty to free his ransomed. Future Home was subsidized by taxpayers for his What? What? Ransom wearing 30,000 customers.
them again, claiming that that's legal. But then when somebody tries to give you back access to what you bought and paid for, that's illegal. Change your profile photo to a Clippy. If you're tired of sex bots invading the comment section on a regular basis, and their comments...
No, not only that, it's the OnlyFans bots, man. They steal the top comment and then they're advertising their OF.
Always posting with no problem.
So
but your
funny.
comments being censored even when you're not saying anything that bad. Change your profile picture to a Clippy. If Google, being one of the premier data mining companies on earth, not being able to tell that little fucking cat with 2 pillows next to it that they try to make look like an ass so that thirsty young men click it as they normalize sex trafficking on the platform that doesn't allow you to express an opinion bothers you, change your profile picture to a Clippy and let them know that you're not happy. Clippy never tried to normalize sex trafficking. He just...
They don't care if you're unhappy. They care if you don't buy their product. Am I being miserable here? Am I being too defeatist? I feel like it wouldn't really make a difference. I feel like I'm being miserable. I'm sorry. I'm bringing the mood down.
We're
still buying,
if you're tired of companies saying Windows out loud that the reason they want to keep you from fixing what you bought and paid for is that may take money away from them, change your profile photo to a Clippy. I never expected to win the legislative battle. It would be nice if I did, but it was never something that I set as I need to do this or I'm a failure. What I always hoped to do was win the cultural battle, where all of you understand what's going on and you decide that enough is enough. If I ever have a chance in my personal life to push back against this, I will. You're maybe not going to send that email that you're supposed to send to Interso to tell them, oh, by the way, make sure this chip doesn't end up on Mouser.com. Here's an NDA, blah, 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 supplier agreement. Maybe you just forget to send that email. When there's a new consumer rights law that the senator that you work for is on the fence about supporting, and there's a lobbyist that's going to be against it that wants to have dinner. Whoops, maybe their invitation went to spam. I didn't see that. Sorry, boss. Maybe you quit before you create a fake paywall to test if your customers will pay again for what...
Thermostater maker performs psychological experiment on customers. Tado doubles down on bad decision. Falsely flag reviews as defamation. Yeah, when you control all the media and all the power, you can say whatever the fuck you want. You provide a service that nobody else can fulfill and there's no alternative. Like, what are you supposed to do? I know it's harmless and, like, ultimately it doesn't really hurt to change your profile picture, but, like, the actions you have to do is to refuse to use, the product that's being sold and stop giving them money. That's when they'll start caring. It sucks. I know, I'm being a little bit of a pessimist here, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for it, or like people being like, oh my god, Alana, you're going against it. I'm like, I'm not against the movement. I just think that you have to stop giving the money and stop using the product, which you ultimately can't really do because you're still using Windows every day and buying their products and using it and giving your information because you don't have an alternative. Everybody gonna switch to Linux? Yeah, that'll happen overnight, for sure.
They already paid for. Or maybe when you send out that ransomware firmware update,
sure.
You make it opt-in instead of opt-out. Whoopsie, if in some bizarro world it is actually illegal to make a thermostat work again, and this bastard of a CEO decides to try and get the individual in trouble, 10 cases to prosecute, only got time for 6. Maybe I just ignore this one. When a company CEO logs into their Slack and sees 10,000 Clippies looking back at them, What I hope occurs is that they intuitively understand that they no longer live in a world where they can get away with fucking over the consumer, that their employees, their partners are not going to be accomplices to this anymore, that they are alert and they are aware of what is going on, and they are going to politely but firmly push back against it. Every single one of those 10,000 people will be an obstacle to the anti-consumer practices and the anti-ownership practices, and it will no longer be another cog in the assembly line sending us all into a dystopia. There will be a moment where that one person who usually would not have a say in anything can be activated, and in that moment, keep the world from sliding further into a dystopia.
People don't care enough to learn about the alternatives. It's not even about caring enough to learn, it's that it's inconvenient to learn, and unfortunately, the vast majority of people have an issue with something being annoying or difficult to go through. That's why you pay a mechanic to fix your car as opposed to learning how to fix the car yourself. Yeah, sure, you could go and fix the car yourself, and you know, it'd be cheaper than doing it, than paying someone else to do it. But do you have the time to do it? You're overworked, you're tired, you have 10 kids, you have 3 wives, you have to pay insurance, you have to do this and that and this and that. It's the same thing, but like on a lesser scale with, like, for example, ad blockers. Like, yeah, do you really want to go and figure out which ad blocker works? No. Would you rather pay YouTube like $12 or whatever to, you know, have no ads? Yeah, the average person, or even dumber than the average person, are going to go the easier path of least resistance. The path of least resistance. They're going to go that path. It's not worth the hassle. Again, I'm not saying it's not worth the hassle. I've always been an avid, like, pirate enjoyer, as in, you know, pirating. I was taught as a kid by my brother that frick everyone, if you can't afford it, go pirate it, because it's expensive. Or if there's no alternative, then go and pirate it. Not that I'm endorsing it or anything, but I'm just saying, if you can't find an alternative, you go look for it. But some people just don't even want to do that.
Or help push it forward in the opposite direction. But we all have to get together. And the first step is making it public that we know what's going on. That starts with a Clippy. On YouTube, if you're with me, I ask that you change your profile picture to a Clippy. At work, change your Slack profile picture to a Clippy. If you work at the White House, sure, don't take down the United States flag, but somewhere on the grounds, put up a flag of a Clippy. Clippy's a symbol that what used to be considered one of the worst annoyances in our life would now not only be welcomed, but for all of his flaws, celebrated as an idol. Because for all of these things that occur right now, where there is negative malice of intent, I want to take away what you own. I want to take this back. I want to get your data. I want to sell you to an advertiser when I know that you're crying. Clippy just wanted to help. And if you were to turn him on today, unlike most cloud bullshit, he'd still work. Hulu Foundation is going to be announcing the winners to both the Future Home Bounty and the Echelon Bikes Bounty within the next month. Us offering 5,000 here, 20,000 there. It pushes the ball forward. But at the end of the day, that does nothing in contrast to organizing all of you. We're happy to get the ball rolling, but for us to truly win, we need to show that if you push us, Clippy clips back. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something.
I'm not against the message. I'm not.
We also have the duty not to infringe the IP rights in the process. It is in fact the manufacturers who have the relevant rights, not consumers.
The reason it would be effective is because everyone thinks it's just them, and people see they're not alone is powerful. Yeah, I mean, someone made you a Clippy in Discord, Alana. Did you actually? It's so derpy looking. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna save it. I'll think about it. That's a good one. That's fantastic.